Guru Nation, the clinical trial research management groups or whatever they call themselves, the bad ones, are back at it apparently. I got a text message from someone, obviously they're going to be anonymous, but they said, look, I'm writing to you on behalf of a PI who signed up with one of these SMOs. They are in his office, which he did not authorize. Per the contract, the management group were supposed to provide the space, but they didn't. He gave them 60 days notice that he doesn't want to do more trials and he wants to back out of the current trials he has. They have him locked into a very unfavorable contract, some of which are not legally binding, according to this person. They also said that he has to sign all trials presented to him. All right? How long and how easy will it be for them to get a new site approved and move to another location? They told the PI that even though he gave notice, he is responsible for any trials in the pipeline. They have 6 trials in the pipeline, so he has given 60 days notice, but locked in for potentially a year to follow in his practice. So, does a PI reserve the right to select trials? Can he be forced to sign all the CTAs presented to him? The answer to all of this is no. What does the FDA say? The FDA says the PI is responsible for the conduct of the study at the site. When the PI signs, it doesn't matter what contract you have. If the PI signs a 1572, that is a binding agreement with the FDA that the PI has oversight over that study at his site. Now, if the PI is uncomfortable with the management, the PI can go to the sponsor themselves and tell them, hey, I either don't want to do this study anymore, or I want to do this study, but I don't want it under this management group. Now, this stuff can get messy. If you already signed CTAs and you already had site initiation visits, you can still back out. You just have to call the sponsor and tell them I don't want to do this anymore, and here's why. If you didn't have SIV, it's very easy. You just call the sponsor and say, I don't want our site activated, and here's why. And now signing, like being forced to take on more studies when you don't want to, absolutely not. All right, this is not legal anywhere, and the FDA is the one who ultimately decides should the PI be, or does the PI have sufficient oversight of the study or not at the site. Like, that's between the PI and the FDA and the PI and the sponsor. You have a lot of these con artists out there that give site owners a bad name by doing things like this, because there's a lot of money involved. They prey on physicians that don't really know what they're doing. They give them unfavorable contracts, and this is what happened. At my company, DSCS, Sweat Equity Investments, we help dozens on a yearly basis PIs that are in these unfavorable situations get out and do the studies on their own, because at the end of the day, you are the one the sponsor wants to work with, and your management group is just the middleman. At the end of the day, who is signing the 1572? It's the PI. And then the contracts, most of the time they request the PI to sign the contracts too. So these kind of things really piss me off. If they're in your office, kick them out. I don't know what kind of agreement you signed. The lights turned off in my own office. If you are, by the way, holiday season's coming up. This is like not an appropriate video for the holiday cheer. All right, but I saw it today. I couldn't ignore it. It actually gets me angry. It looks like the grifters are back, and this is why we need to go to saveoursites.com. This is why we need more physicians interested in research to actually know what they're doing, to actually do it for themselves, and cut out all these middlemen that are shady. So that's my advice. If you're a physician watching and you're in a similar situation, or you're about to be, know who you're getting in business with. Forcing their way into your practice, that's something that you can just kick them out for. And also, signing studies you don't want to sign is ridiculous, and whoever is telling you that is taking advantage of the fact that you don't know much about what a 1572 form actually means. So that's it. Staff is back. I gotta get back to work. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Merry Christmas?